Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the WIT podcast. This is a very special, unique, one-of-a-kind opportunity because you can see it's not even a surprise. Because Look who it is. It is the one and only Haley Hoffman. And she's here with us today to talk about, I think what I really want her to talk about, what I really want you to chat about is just following your dreams and what it looks like to identify those dreams and set yourself up for success to achieve those dreams. And we're going to dive into that a little bit. I think it's perfect timing. I want this to be the gift that WIT gives our community during this time of year as we set you up for a successful 2023 and have you finish strong in 2022. You get the gift of Haley. Oh. You can get her words of wisdom, and then we're going to dive into her music. And I'm just knowing and expecting and hoping you all go download it because I feel like her music will inspire you on this journey of following your dreams and pursuing your dreams. I think it just ties in so beautifully with the work that she does, the music that she's written and she's sharing with all of you. And it's really fun for me is that we're doing this in her beautiful New York City apartment. It's also during the season of what's the big thing that you do now on you're doing?
Oh, Vlogmas. So we're vlogging this right now.
Tell them what Vlogmas is.
Okay, it's like X Games mode. We vlog every single day, December 1st through the 25th, and then upload a video every single day. So it's like a mad dash, film all day and then edit, and then obviously do Christmassy things. So it's my third year doing it, but it's really fun. And it's fun to look back in the videos too.
And the thing is, I knew she was doing Vlogmas and I felt like I didn't want to disappoint what she's doing. So I've been on the road for about a month and living out of a carry-on bag. And I had nothing Vlogmasy or Christmassy, but this is the beautiful thing about being in New York City. You can always find something at any time. So I went to Old Navy on my walk over here and I got this shirt. It says, "Make your own magic." And it was so on brand for the Haley experience, how I found it, because I walked into Old Navy and saw all the shirts and I was like, this is I don't not giving me the vibe that I want. I was like, okay, universe, give me the right shirt because this is it's Haley and it's the thing. And this is and then who would have thought pink was a holiday shirt, holiday color. And it goes so nicely with a Christmas song that you recently released. Tell them what the Christmas song is.
It's called Magic is Here.
And it's a little chilly in Haley's apartment.
Yeah.
So I got her cozy thing. So this feels kind of fun. And we have this
peaceful YouTube.
Yeah.
Fireplace. Yeah.
So cuddle up with us, grab your tea, coffee, whatever. I'm drinking a lovely Nespresso peppermint thing that she created for me. Peppermint mocha. And let's dive into your dreams. So Haley, what do you have to say to the person out there right now who's feeling maybe they're even afraid to say what their dreams are because they might feel like they're too big or people are going to say oh, okay, you think you can do that? What do you have to say to that person?
Okay, so dreams are it's my favorite thing to talk about because when we think about our entire lives, over the course of our lives, there are so many things that we have to do, oh, let me go to school, let me go get a job, okay. And then there's what our soul is really calling us to do, and that's what the big dream is. And the other interesting thing that I've observed about big dreams is that sometimes you think your dream is one thing, but that's really what gets you to what your ultimate dream is. So case in point, when I moved to New York City, I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to be a talk show host. And so, because of that, I had a little Today Show mic and everything. I was like, okay, I'm going to start posting on TikTok and I'm going to talk on camera because it was the pandemic. I was like, I just got to get on the map somehow. The thing I chose to talk about was spirituality. Is spirituality still, because it's a huge part of who I am. I'm obsessed with it. It's all I think about. It's all I read. It's all I talk about. And so I had no idea that was going to build out this whole business, this online community around spirituality. And then I did ultimately do a little TV hosting thing, but I recently discovered, actually exactly a year ago today, on December 4th, 2021, that the real dream that I had been kind of avoiding within myself was this dream of singing and songwriting. But it's interesting because like you look back at my life and I would always write songs. When I was a freshman in high school, I actually recorded some of the songs in a recording studio. I like choir was my favorite time of the day in school. Yeah. And like even in middle school, I would always get like solos in choir, but I had forgotten about all of that because a lot of other things had happened that had super invalidated that desire and made me feel like it was not possible for me. But then slowly through like this amazing sequence of events, it like unfolded like, wow, actually, Haley, this is like really what you want to do with your life. On top of course, like sharing spirituality and all of that, because that's very much who I am. So my point is with that is when you think about your big dream, that can feel really intimidating because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm choosing something that's going to be the thing for the rest of my life. I have to take like big, brave action right now or else it doesn't count. And my dream feels so far away. It's more so trusting what feels really exciting to you right now and understanding that, to go back to the exact question you asked, when other people are telling you, oh, that's too big, oh, good luck, oh, whatever, they are talking to you as a mirror and reflection to themselves and what they don't believe that they can do. And it is like its own programming epidemic of people who don't believe in themselves.
Yeah, let's hang there for a second because full transparency, I have been that person. So I know what she's talking about. I have had the thought cross my mind, like, who does she think she is? Or who does he think that they are? And then I'm like, oh, okay. So you're jealous.
Yeah.
So that's jealousy. And I like being able to admit that and say that out loud because it takes the sting and the power away. I think it's very human nature and normal to see people have the things that you desire and then want them. And I think that unfortunately, just the system that many of us were raised in didn't give us that really important piece that happens next, which is super normal to see what someone's doing and say, gosh, like, I want that. Now, what the majority of people usually do is then go into like, I don't get to have that, or like then we like jealousy and like, well, maybe we start like putting that person down, when the real cool thing is to go into, wow, that's proof that I can have it too.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and like a thank you for illuminating that within me, because jealousy is actually like one of our greatest teachers because it shows us what we would usually, especially when you're like, I don't know why it bothers me so much that I'm seeing them live this life, or, oh, that's so interesting that I'm feeling some type of way about them doing, like, I thought that was an old dream of mine. Actually, maybe you were supposed to see this at this time because it was supposed to activate something within you of like, oh wait, actually that's something that I feel like I could do.
Did you have, wait, by the way, I don't know if she's filming off camera.
Oh, I think it died, but it's okay. We got some good footage.
Okay. Keeping it real.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it.
The camera has died. Yeah.
And it is Vlogmas. So I'm going to make sure that she does make sure she gets what she needs.
It's never been a more important time for a camera to stay alive.
Did you have a moment, I mean, if you feel comfortable sharing, or maybe you didn't, where you saw people singing and doing that and thinking like, I wish that was me? Or did you have that feeling?
Oddly, for music, no.
Okay.
But there were two interesting things though. One was there was this girl who was going viral because her boyfriend was proposing to her in this very interesting way. I'm going to try to figure out the story because now I forget their names. She basically was like going viral on her Instagram story because her boyfriend was proposing to her as a scavenger hunt, and they lived in New York City. And then like part of the scavenger hunt was like out in Montauk and the Hamptons. And then they ended up having this like surprise wedding in Paris. Anyway, point being, somehow as I'm following, as I'm following,
that's it. That's all that.
I was like, I was seeing her life in New York City. This is before I lived in New York City, to be clear. And I was, and that she went to like her spin class in the morning in New York City. And that was part of the scavenger hunt. And she had all these friends in New York City. And I had never wanted to move to New York City before. And I'm watching this girl's story and like this proposal unfold. And I was like, I'm jealous, like not because of the scavenger hunt, although that's cool too. Like, it's about that. But I was like, wow, I'm jealous of this life that she's living in New York City. And I was like, very interesting. I always think back on that because I'm like, that was the thing that happened that made me think maybe I want to move to New York City.
Really?
Yeah. But it wasn't like I'm jealous, therefore let me now move. Like a few other things happened, but that like led to the epiphany that I needed to move here. Probably like several months later. It was not until several months later, but I was,
what I bet that people, that you've done that for people.
That sounds
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
I feel like people watching, will be some of your fans, and they'd be like, yeah, I think that you've probably shown your life in a way that has inspired people, and maybe people feel a little jealous. Plus, some people out there are like jealous and don't heal it, and then they become hateful in the comments. So don't be those people.
No,
Don't do that.
Maybe heal it first, because
Don't do that.
It doesn't actually make you feel better. Maybe you'll feel better for a second, but
Yeah.
it just causes more hurt. But yeah, so that was a big one. And then it wasn't jealousy around singing, but it was last December, before I started songwriting again. I saw this girl on TikTok, and it was this video of like her manager called her because her song hit number 3 or something on the radio. And so she was like freaking out. And so it was playing the song in the background, and I turned on the song and listened to it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this song is so beautiful. And something just like overcame me as I was listening and thinking about it. And I was like, wait, like I used to write songs all the time. And I picked up my guitar and I wrote a song, and now people love that song. It doesn't have a name yet. I've only shared parts of it, but I shared a song in Vlogmas last year, and so many people loved it. And so it was just interesting that it was like an activation or a spark within me, where I was like, wait, like I feel like I could do this too, or like this was a part of me that I'd left behind, and I had to see her success in order to activate it.
Yeah, I do think I will just be really, blunt with all of you, as I always am. That's a very healed approach. And so because I know that's a healed approach, we're going to talk about how Haley has gotten to that place, because you're able to, and I think I am too. So that's why I know it is like, it comes from like a healed place where I can like see things, and I can feel a little bit of like, I think Haley gets to the like, oh, that could be me faster than I do. I think sometimes I still get a little bit like, oh, like why not me? And then it takes me. So I think I'm like a couple beats behind at times. That's okay. No, I'm right on time. Whatever. I'm not going to put myself down for that.
Yeah.
But the reason that I think that you're able to have that reaction of like, wait, like that she like that call, like, wait, maybe I could do that. I used to do that. You didn't go. Some people would really like start feeling depressed and sad, and like, I missed my chance, and I'm too old, or I'm too this, and I can't do that anymore. I already have a new career. So let's give them, the viewer, listener, watcher, just a rundown of like the top 3 things that you do to keep yourself in a place where you are able to have that kind of response to life and to others' success.
Okay, love it. Okay, so the first is not as much tactical as it is more like philosophical, but I have very, very, very strong spiritual beliefs. And one of them is that everything is always happening for you, not to you, to quote Abraham Hicks. Sometimes, easier to think than other times.
For sure. Yeah.
But if you took like a huge step back and you're like, okay, I'm seeing this situation, it has the capacity to make me jealous, or it's illuminating something within me. If you're like, wait, this is happening for me, then you're like, whoa, why would it be happening for me? Maybe it's trying to activate something within me. Maybe it's trying to get me to the next level. Like, that belief has really, really helped me realize that life isn't trying to beat you down or show you ways in which you're inadequate. It's trying to show you like, look, that's what makes your heart like speak up a little bit. Now, when your heart speaks up a little bit and then you immediately feel pain, or you feel like very shut down from something, goes on to number 2, which is the most important. So it should have been number 1, but I just want to this is number 1, which is it's a limiting belief or a wound, usually from childhood or your upbringing, where you were taught through the experiences that you had that you were not worthy or capable. And people always think like, no. Like, yeah, there was that one time I didn't get into the musical when I was in middle school, or there was that time that teacher told me I'd never amount to anything, but like, that was so stupid. That was so long ago. Like, what do they know? And I'm like, no, actually, if it hurt you at the time, it still hurts you. It still hurts you. Like, I can't tell you people that I work with, and they're like, well, there was that one thing, but like, I don't feel anything when I look back on that now.
Yeah. And Haley's the type that be like, she's done that with me in text messages, and she's like, wait, no, there's something. And I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, no, I don't think that's a thing.
I'm like, I know it's a thing. Because the subconscious holds on to everything and forms a self-concept. And so for me, I had been doing a ton of like looking back type of work with EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique, which I've talked about a lot on WIT before, but we can do another.
It's never too much.
That's
never
true.
too much.
We can do a mini tutorial too, but I had really looked back at all of the significant moments throughout my life, even if they didn't feel like huge, big, like Mount Everest moments, like little small hurts that had hurt me at the time. specifically around like rejection and my worthiness. Worthiness is such a big one. In times that I would internalize like, oh, I must not be good enough for this. I must not be talented enough. And that wasn't like a, let me sit down and write a page out and then I'm healed type of thing. I have been doing consistent sessions with an EFT practitioner since 2019. And my life has changed a lot since then. And I know Sarah has testimonials about how EFT tapping changes everything. But it's been a lot of like kind of overhaul work, like deep excavation of like, okay, I have this belief about myself. I'm reacting in this way. Or you could go like, oh, I'm reacting in this way. Why does it really bother me? Let me be extremely honest with myself. What do I think it means about me if they're succeeding in that way? What does that trigger within me? And then take it back and be like, okay, well, when did I first experience this? When did I learn this? And then you're like, that is interesting. There was that one time that this happened, or my parents said this, or, it could be something that someone said to you, or it could be something that you like directly experienced.
Wait, I want to pause here. It's so important for all of you to know this. It's okay you can hold two things at one time, meaning you can love your parents and you can acknowledge that they did the best that they could, or that, and be like, it also didn't feel good that I was told, your sister's that, but you're not that. Like because I've had to learn that work where sometimes we're afraid to even admit that we've had this thing from a parent, from a family situation, because we feel like that's some of us were raised in homes that might feel like, you don't want to like, how's the best way to say it? It's like, there's almost this like fear that if you say that, you're saying that you didn't have a good childhood, or like your family let you down. And it's like, no, you acknowledge the thing to heal the thing. Plus, you actually don't even know if that really happened the way that you think it happened.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
It's just the story.
Yeah, it's just the story and the perception. And there's been times that I have like, I'm very close with my parents, and I've been like, oh, I remember this thing, and you said this or something, and they're like, well, we meant it this way, or this was actually what was happening. And I was like, wow, all along I like internalized this one. You had like a completely legitimate, rational reason for it. It was not at all like what I took it to mean.
Same.
And even if you can't have that conversation with your parents, because I know we all have different relationships, like with our families or different things there, just releasing the story and the associated emotion and being like, maybe it didn't happen that way, or it was a misunderstanding. Something else we say in EFT is they loved me the way that they were loved. So a lot of times we're dealing with people who are really hurt in their own ways, and so they're hurting us because hurt people. That doesn't mean that actually we weren't worthy or aren't worthy, right? It's just like an experience we had with someone else who was also hurt, but it's what we've taken it to mean about ourselves. And dream chasing is so much about identity. So when you start to think about it, a lot comes up around like, am I worth this? But someone said this, or someone reacted this way to me. Like, well, actually, what if your identity has always been made for this, meant for this? You have everything you need within you for this. The entire universe is conspiring to get you to go after this. And everything along the way has just been a story that you can let go of. And the only thing that's holding it in place is the emotions that you have around it and the belief in your subconscious mind, which can be rewritten, which is really exciting. I
was just thinking about, I feel like I'm seeing this, it's all over Instagram, TikTok. I mean, I'm not on TikTok, but eventually things from TikTok go on Instagram. I got a picture who said it, but she said, I think it was Brene Brown, actually, it's just making the rounds. And it said something, she says something like, don't look for the evidence that you're not worthy, because you'll find it. Don't look for the evidence that you're not included or wanted. You'll find it. So just be careful of what you're looking for. And I tell myself that, like, I can find proof every single day that I'm not enough if I wanted to, right? So you get this wonderful thing called choice, which is so powerful. We talk about it in WIT all the time. It's a choice. It's one of our WIT tips. You talk about choice a lot, the power that you have within yourself. So you get to, and you can only hold one thought at a time. So is it the thought that everything's happening for you, or everything happening to you? Is it that it's all conspiring on your behalf, or is it all conspiring against you? And how does that feel in your body when if you hear Haley say, or I say to you, it's all working for you, versus, well, fuck, this happened, it lands different on your body. Totally. And so you get to choose how you want to feel. But I want to just also add here, Haley has like so many, they're called slingshot sessions, and I've done them. Well, full transparency, I've done one, and it worked. So, and I was doing it for like my own kind of research on, I was doing EFT for like with a free app, but she was doing more like a different type of EFT, and I wanted to try it out. I did it. Wasn't it the Money Blocks one?
Money Blocks.
It was Money Blocks. I should probably do that again because it's like kind of interesting to see what happened. And I got a piano delivered to my house. That was a gift. And I got this like piece of furniture from my neighbor that I was like looking for, and she had it. And I was like, what is happening? And then I was like, oh yeah, this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Gets to be easy. Gets to be like, and then all of it wasn't just that like, and I think this is so important to share when it comes to manifesting. Yes, I got a lot of things in that, but you know what? Every single thing helped the other person too.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because the person who gave me her piece of furniture was trying to get this piece of furniture out of her house and didn't want to have to like hire somebody to take it somewhere and do all that. And she had another piece coming in, and she was so happy that that I was able to remove it for her. The piano, a family was getting a new thing that was coming, and they wanted to keep it kind of in the family. And I'm like, they're basically like my family, these people. And they're like, do you want it? Would you? And I'm like, I would love to have it. So the manifesting isn't always like you get everything. It's a win for everybody. I don't know. How would you say that?
Well, I love that, but I will also say, in order for those things to come in, there has to be some type of internal shift where first you got to a place where whatever you released when you were doing that slingshot session was something around like scarcity, or it's interesting that both things you got were gifts that were unexpected. So I almost wonder if you healed something, which you might not even remember because that's the nature of like doing subconscious work, but healed something around feeling like others aren't helping you or giving to you.
Well, okay. Haley, you can't say that and not tell them that we like literally had this conversation before we started recording.
Yeah,
but you're making that.
Yeah, it's okay, because think about it. You healed something, and then the way it showed up twice, not just once. Once would have been really freaking cool, but twice
in like 48 hours.
People giving to you.
Yeah,
that's
and
clear.
It is. That's so. Well, this is like, okay, we have to just say this because I think we're both having like a moment in this recording right now. Because before we got on here, I just was like over here. Just when we just were chatting, like I wanted to kind of have a cozy moment with her before we even started recording, and so we were just like chatting, and then she like wanted to do my chart, and so I'm like looking at her to make sure I'm using the right language, and so working on that, and that was interesting. And then I was saying like, yeah, sometimes it's just hard for me to ask for things. Sometimes I feel like people don't like give some in the ways that I'm willing to give to people, and how this is so powerful, like in real time, really, it's like it's a fucking story that I've told myself when there is literal proof that people give to me.
Yes. Just what you said with the Brene Brown thing too, like you can always look for proof and find it that you're not worthy. It's the same. You can look for proof that you are worthy and that people do love you, and you don't see it all freaking day long. Like it's literally just perspective. So wouldn't you rather like gain evidence on one side, like accumulate all this evidence? Like it's really just like and it can be playful. It can be like let me just like go through today, or go through my errands today, or my meetings today, and look for evidence that things are working out for me and that people like me.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. This is like a real time fun challenge. Okay, because I'm gonna release this. I don't know, like within the next week, and because I think this is like a gift. I think doubling down on self-care is so important during the holidays. Many people are navigating family. People are navigating so many different things during the holidays. And so I want this episode to be a gift to this community. And then all the wonderful things that Haley is providing within her work to also be a gift to all of you. But I want to do this as a fun challenge. And then maybe I don't know what it's all going to turn into, but I want you to, whatever you go off to do next, like in your day, whenever you're listening to this, whatever your next day is, I want you to spend that day finding proof that you are loved and that you are cared for, and then writing down the evidence in your notes section on your phone or something like that. And then share that with us in the comments, or screenshot it and tag us, like, so we can, or to tell us privately. It doesn't have to be public if you don't want to, but I know I'm a former teacher, so I kind of have to give homework. I like to do, like, give it.
I love it.
Like, so plus when you take action on things, it embeds it more into you. And so I'll say this, they make it a manageable homework assignment. When you go off into your day after listening to this, I want you to find 5 pieces of evidence, 5 pieces of proof that you matter and you're loved, and write them down. Write them down. I'm not just
to think about it.
Right?
Yeah.
Imagine if everybody listening right now went into that, and imagine how you would feel.
You'd be like, wow.
You would be looking for the proof that you are loved.
Yeah.
We want you to go on a scavenger hunt. I was like, none of this is planned, everybody. Like, this is like really not like, this is a very like free flowing recording. So go find the proof during this holiday season. Oh my God, this is natural. The magic is happening in everyone.
What's the proof that magic is here?
It's a Christmas song. Yeah. And that you are loved, and write it down. Okay. And so that's what I want us to do. That's going to be a task.
Ooh,
keep going.
Okay, another task that's just
what if I lived in New York? We would do these all the time.
Literally every day. Okay, but a flip side to that I think also, to go back to dream chasing, and a different thing that you can look for is proven evidence that your dreams can come true. And that can be other people having their dreams come true.
Okay, my first reaction to that kind of scared me, because I was like, what if I can't find the proof?
Sarah, we gotta train your mind.
Is that like that? And I was like, okay,
interesting.
I feel like that's the one. That's pick the one that.
Pick them both.
Pick them both. Pick the one that scares you the most. Because that's like people that love me. I'm like, well, I always think, because I just came off of like a lot of solo traveling in Europe, and I had so many amazing strangers that helped me. And I was like, and like just people in the hotel that were kind, and people. So I was like, there's always there's proof, but the dream thing, I think that I have some blockage there.
But the most special, like the reason that this can be so influential is because it's going to change your brain if you're looking for evidence of something if you don't even think you're going to see it, but you're like, okay, humor me. Okay.
Yes.
Let me look. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like that's what has the capacity to really change things for you.
Okay. Well, okay. So
you're setting your mind to look for it.
I know. I think this is good. Oh my God, I feel myself like, it's always so good when and I want this for everyone listening and watching, when you're just like so in tune with yourself that you can identify the feeling. So the feeling that I'm having is like, it's a little tight. And and I know that feeling. When I have that feeling, it's a little bit of doubt, or like a little bit of fear. And then I do it anyway.
Sarah, what fun would it be to look for evidence if you knew for sure it was coming?
Well, then that's like, yeah, I mean, that feels better, but there's a fear.
Achieve you in any way. Life-changing assignment for the end of the year. Please spot 5 clouds in the sky right now. And there's like 16.
Oh, I got it. Okay, there we go.
Faith restored.
Yes. No, this is good. So, okay, we're going to go on the scavenger hunt. We're going on to either and or 5 pieces of proof that you are loved and cared for, and then 5 pieces of proof
that your dreams are possible. It's supported by the universe.
It's supported by the universe.
Yeah.
And then that goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of, like, maybe some of us have a little fear that our dreams are too big or too much. And will there be proof that they will come true? And I think that's exactly why I want all of you listening and watching to dive into Haley's work, into her music, because interesting thing about Haley's work is that, again, there are these slingshot sessions that you can do. I will make sure that all of this is available, like in the comments, and when we share it, we'll tag all the different things, because you can do them live, or you can buy like pre-record. Is it not pre? Is it pre-recorded? Pre-recorded, and you can do that, which is what I did. And so I didn't do it live. I did a recording of it.
Yeah, it's just a replay.
It was super effective for me. So that work is that it will really help around this work about like self-worth, that your dreams can come true, that you are loved. And she has a beautiful job like categorizing the slingshot sessions. So if you think if you ask yourself the question, like, where do I feel the most like blocked, whether it's in like love with romantic relationships, financially, self-esteem, so then you just go on her website, and it has all the names of all those like kind of limiting beliefs that you can tackle. So that doing that type of work, that EFT work, gets you, I believe, more in touch, in tune, in alignment with your dreams. It just does.
Yeah.
It just does. So then the interesting thing is you listen to her music, the lyrics of her songs are also reassuring you that your dreams can come true, that that there is like a little bit of like this like light at the end of the tunnel during hard times. And I think that music is really important to listen to as you do this kind of work, because sometimes it's very emotional doing the work, the EFT work, and doing work on yourself, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be like advisory, may cause tears.
Yeah.
May bring about
tears. But you'll feel better, like, oh my
yes.
gosh, so much better than carrying it with you, because you let it go quickly when you're happy.
Yeah, there's going to be exhaustion, but there's exhaustion when you pick your exhaustion. Are you exhausted with the stories that you've been telling yourself over and over again? Are you exhausted with
I just Sarah, go and take close notes right now. She finishes this sentence.
Are you exhausted with the stories that you're telling yourself, or do you want to be exhausted with the release of these stories and these limiting beliefs? Don't you think?
It's a choice.
It's a choice. Full circle. Okay. What gosh, I just like feel like there's so much I want to share with all of you. Where we have a good homework assignment for them.
That's iconic.
That's just the gift. Where can they find your music, by the way?
On anywhere you can get music. Spotify, Apple Music. I always put my songs on YouTube too, so you can check out my YouTube channel. You can check out my blog list.
Yeah, blog. Okay,
yeah.
Let's stay here a little bit with the dream, the music dream, because I mean, really, wasn't it a year ago when you sang in front of people?
Yeah.
Okay. Dreams. The name of the song was Dreams.
Very funny.
And then she's now living out that dream. So you're in it. You're doing it. You're pursuing it. It's growing. Has it been easy?
No.
Okay, no. That's good. So, right? I think it's important to share that, because people are going to think like, oh, if I follow my dreams, it's going to be like love and light every single day.
There's a lot of growing pains, and you got to learn a lot as you go, especially, I mean, for me with music, I mean, I had to learn how to distribute music. I was learning how to produce, I didn't know writing a song beyond like me and the piano or me and the guitar. Learning how to market music. There's been a lot of uphill battles with the learning, and a lot of like, okay, Haley, you're going to dig deep and do this. But in all the places where it has counted the most, such as when I'm writing a song, when I'm recording a song, when a song is out there and I'm like, okay, everyone's listening to it, this is so exciting. Like, those have been the most euphoric moments of my life. And it makes it all so worth it. Like, I don't care how hard it is. I'm just going to keep going. And I'm also looking for proof and evidence that it can be easy.
Yes, proof and evidence that it can be easy. That I know it's almost, this is what I tell this to the kids and the WIT teens. Like, the world wants you to think everything's supposed to be hard and a struggle. And do you know why? Because then you'll consume more. You'll spend more money.
Yeah.
If you believe that things are meant to be hard, and that it's supposed to be hard and it's going to be a struggle, you know what you'll do? You will overconsume, because you will probably feel anxiety. You'll probably feel like a bunch of sadness and maybe even some depression. And then what do we do in those moments? We overconsume. Whether we overconsume food, we overspend, we try to look outside of ourselves to give us relief from this hard world, and that where everything is going against us. And then a lot of people make money off of you feeling that way. When you feel like everything's happening for you and you do feel a sense of peace, then you consume with intention. And people that consume with intention don't usually overconsume or put themselves into debt. I mean, this is like a whole other topic. And then people don't make as much off of you. Yeah. So just remember that, like, but when things are easy, then there is abundance for everybody. Everybody can get paid. Everybody can get what they need. It's just that I don't think we do a good job, especially with our young people, teaching them that life can have an ease to them. Because if they did, then our kiddos would not be stressed out with getting into the best college and getting this kind of school. Like, they want you like that. Yeah. Then you'll pay for all those tutors. So I think that would be so interesting for teenagers to hunt for that too, because they're just like in a cycle, in a system that wants them stressed out. and that maybe it's not supposed to be easy and it has to be hard. And there's almost that, and I know that you all, especially my girls, will know this conversation where you all get together and you're like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out. I'm so stressed out, like so much homework. It's like, I'm taking 5 APs and I'm doing this. And like, you feel like that's like a power move. Like, I don't know what that looks like, because I think you're very intentional with your friendship. So I doubt that you have friends that you sit around and go like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out, because you probably be like, well, let's tap.
Yeah. Let's get them start tapping. Yeah, literally, that's what happens. But no, yeah.
So like, that would be a very boring conversation for you. But I know that your peer group talks like that, don't you think?
Yeah, because I think people feel this like false sense of pride in being busy, because it's what we've been taught. And I mean, if you're busy doing because truthfully, I have been extremely busy the last few months, and I say that honestly. Like, people were like, "How are things?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I've been extremely busy, but I've been busy doing things that really fill me up." And so even though there has been obviously some stress there, I'm not like complaining that I'm busy. Like, it's more like, sorry to get back to you, I've been busy.
There's a difference there. Okay, it gets to be easy. Everything's conspiring for you. Things are happening for you, not to you. There is proof all around you that you are loved and cared for, and that your dreams can come true. If you want to do the work on yourself now, to my teens out there, I highly recommend it. Why not start doing the work at 16, 17 instead of waiting? I wish I had. I was hungry for it. Hence, like, all the different things that I sought out when I was younger. I'm still very much a seeker. We were talking about that earlier. I like to transform, like what she told me in my chart. I think that there's proof of that in my life. What else do you want everyone to know during this holiday season, and as people are thinking about, very much that idea of like resolutions or vision boards or like 2023, like, what do you want people to know?
I actually just feel like, especially since we're talking about like doubling down on rest and self-care, is like giving yourself almost like a month of exploration of the things that really light you up, letting yourself try new things. So, or like go back to things that you used to love that you haven't done in a while. Even if you just set aside like, oh, okay, I'm going to have like school off, so I have, a few break days or something. I'm just going to spend 1 hour in the afternoon playing the guitar again, or I'm going to try editing a video, or I don't know, just like give yourself that space a little bit, because in addition to it being allowed to be easy, it's like allowed to be fun, and it's like supposed to be fun. So bringing the fun and the creativity back.
So we're going to have teens listening to this and watching this, and parents, and then we're going to probably have people from your community, which I would say are, what is like your 20s, 30s, 30-year-olds? Yeah. What would you say? Yeah. Mostly women. Yeah. What would you tell them? Because I think that age, I think back on that age for myself, it's so interesting. It's almost like the same thing. You say, like, you go, like, make sure that you're doing those things that light you up. Make sure you're making time for that, even though you're working hard, and maybe you're in the career, maybe you're not in the career that you really want to be in. You don't have to change it right away, but give yourself permission to explore the things that light you up. It's kind of the same advice, isn't it? Like, no matter how old you are.
Yeah, honestly. Well, I also think it's about, in addition to like, oh, do the things that light you up, which sounds cute and you can put on a decorative pillow. It's kind of just like, in general, creating more space for yourself, whatever that looks like. So I intentionally wake up earlier than I would, so that I can have time for me, like reading a spiritual book, and sometimes like playing on the piano and just seeing what comes to me. And I have done a lot of trial and error, but I found that that's been what's been most helpful. Even if it's just 30 minutes of like, okay, this is time just for me. What do I want to do? What do I want to fill it with? If I want to read, that's amazing. If I want to, but like, I have specific rules, like don't pick up your phone, don't go on social media, just do things that really fill you up. And that's been good. Like, creating that space has been especially powerful for me being someone who's creative, because I get my best ideas during that time for like TikToks and stuff I film. And if I'm like, okay, I'm sitting down at the piano and I made this space intentionally for myself, I'm usually amazed what can come through as far as a song idea. Whereas like otherwise I'm not giving myself time to come up with a song, or I'm like, shoot, I need to write another song for something. Let me sit down and force it. Like, it's a little bit different. So making that more of a routine, and it doesn't have to be this like big 1 hour block. It could be, that's amazing. If you have that time, it can be 30 minutes, 20 minutes. And sometimes even just like, oh, I only have 20 minutes to free write or get back into creative writing. Okay, better get to it. And then you'll be amazed what flows out. So Yeah, the space is powerful.
Okay. It's the holidays. We're in New York City. It's such a fun time to be in the city. I love being here during this time of year. What are some of your favorite holiday traditions to do in the city or to do in your beautiful home?
Well, I love the Rockefeller tree, and it's especially beautiful this year. Oh my gosh, it's so big.
I went over there this morning, jet lagged, so I was over there bright and early.
I was in awe. So I love that. I love just like walking around Fifth Avenue area and seeing all the lights. It's like a happy time to be out and about, seeing the Rockettes. I saw A Christmas Carol the other night, and that was really good. And then just being like, I love being cozy, right? So it's cold outside, like have my tree lights on. Bake something or just make like a really good Nespresso, like watch a cozy movie. Like, just stuff.
Do you have a favorite holiday movie?
I really like Christmas with the Cranks. I've loved it since I was a kid.
Okay.
So that's like become a little bit of a tradition, especially me and my best friend Rachel,
Yeah. Rachel, shout out Rachel. Rachel, we keep saying that I want to, like, the three of us have to hang out. So that'll happen.
It will. Elf is a good one. Yeah, so many good classics.
So my eyes kind of go like that because I worked on Elf. So I'm always like, well, I can tell you some behind the scenes. But Will Ferrell's great. So he's fantastic. Everyone always wants to know that. He was fantastic. But I was thinking about Elf today because I was walking by the Empire State Building and I spent so much time in that building when we were filming Elf. Freezing. It was, and then it just, when I'm here and I think about that time, that's a podcast for another time because I was in my 20s doing that movie and it was a tough time. It was a really interesting time for me as a young professional. But when I walk around the city, I see all the places that we used to shoot where we shot, and I know that movie brings a lot of magic to people, a lot of happiness to people. I really love The Holiday.
Oh my gosh, yes. I love that theme song from it.
I know. I know. I usually use that on my like Instagram of my New York trip. I love that. I love the scene in Blockbuster where he starts acting out the different movies, the different theme songs. That movie brings me a lot of joy and a lot of hope. I also love the one with Nicolas Cage. If you all haven't seen it, I'll think it's so good. And he goes back in time as like what his life would have been like if he hadn't become this like high power like Wall Street guy. And it's so good. Have you not seen it? Oh my god, I think it's called The Holiday Man or The Man.
Oh my gosh.
Really you have to see it. It's super like, I think you'd like the themes. You have to watch that. That's your homework.
Okay.
That's your homework.
I love this homework.
And I want to know okay. So you can also comment your favorite holiday movie. How do you stay cozy during this time of year? It's a time of year that we should be like cozy. I mean, that's fun too.
Look at her. She's so cozy right now.
I'm so cozy because it's actually like I probably wouldn't be wearing this blanket if it wasn't chilly in here for me. I also was like I walked over here and I was like chilly. But I kind of like it. I think like the textures look good together too.
Like a shawl. It looks like
and then it's like make your own magic. Old Navy $7.
Not an ad.
Sponsor me.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us. Final thoughts?
No, but I'm excited to see everyone's proof and evidence. And
okay.
Make your list.
Proof and evidence. Keep doing WIT.
Magic is here.